Hello, welcome to a special edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Svilagoy, editor of CropLife and CropLife Iron, here today with a special guest, Kevin KJ Johnson, the president of the Illinois Fertilizer and Chemical Association. KJ, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Eric.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, again, usually you and I talk every year, kind of going over what's going on in the great state of Illinois and
Yeah,
talk a little bit about some of our favorite events coming up here in the summertime. But yeah, first off, if you could tell me, I guess there's been some recent activity in the state capital of Springfield that is relevant to the ag retail community. So if you could share what that news is and why it's significant.
yeah. So actually some big news. So an issue that we've been working on at IFCA for many years, but just have never had that opportunity to get it across the finish line with the Department of Ag here in Illinois is continuous education for applicator licenses. So a lot of states across the Midwest already have continuous education for applicators in their state. But in Illinois, we have to take a test to become a licensed applicator, but then every 3 years we have to retest um, from there forward. So we did never have a continuous education option. So what we have pushed for and we've asked from our members have always asked is to give us options. Any of those guys that are in Missouri or in Iowa borderline or Indiana have asked, can we ever go to that in the future? And we've been working with the Illinois Department of Ag for many years, but in the last year and a half, it's really started up and trying to bring that here to Illinois. And so the Department of Ag and IFCA with all of the commodity groups in Illinois put some legislation together to bring that back here. And what we did is we did get it through the General Assembly, both the Senate and the House, passed 50-4 in the Senate and 115-0 in the House. So usually on a pesticide related issue, we don't always get that much kind of bipartisan, but I think talking to legislators, this is just giving more options for applicators to keep up their license. But I think all legislators know it's good that if an applicator would be willing to do more education, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. So it is on the governor's desk right now. We think he will sign it by the end of summer, probably most likely, hopefully at the Illinois State Fair that we will get this through. The legislation does say it starts in January 1 of 26. And then we're going to have some time to build out the rules in the computer system with the department. But we're hoping in 27 to have continuous education credits for all applicators. Now, again, this is an option. If you still like taking the test every year, you're going to be able to do that. The other thing is that this is just going to be on general standards for right now. But long term, we hope we can bring category continuous education credits to all applicators in the state. So this is going to be for all 36,000 applicators in the state of Illinois.
Very good. And if for folks who may be watching this program who are custom applicators and want to find out more about this, is there should they visit the IFCA website to find out
Yep.
information, or is there a government site at this point?
No. You can go to ifca.com and see some of the stuff that we have put out. But if you go to the Illinois General Assembly's website and type in SB 783, you'll find it. Now, again, this is just giving an outline of what a program might look like.
Mhm.
The details will be done in rules, and we're going to start talking to the department about that. But what we think is there will be over 3 years, you have to take 15 hours of continuous education credits. So pretty much 5 hours a year would be that. They will be approved through the Illinois Department of Ag. So if somebody tries to put out a class, if IFCA or a Farm Bureau or University of Illinois puts out a class, it would have to be submitted through the Illinois Department of Ag, and they would have to approve it. So it's not just a sales class from there, but it would have to be approved through the department. And what our hope is, maybe a couple hours a year is more just general standards that we always just need to hit about. But what we like about this is that every year we can add classes that are pertaining to the issue of the day. So maybe right now it's the herbicide strategy or Endangered Species Act, but 5 years from now it might be something more about adjuvants or something like that. So it won't just be the same classes every year. It will be a continuous flow of what are the issues of the day that we need to get out to applicators so they can be the best applicator possible.
I'm glad you added that. My next question would have been with the ESA standards coming around over the next couple of years here and adjusting for those, how this program might be flexible regarding that. So thank you for answering that.
And I think that's going to be the first thing that's going to be if we have one of those, it just has to be a necessity we need to do. It's going to be, I truly believe, and we will push at IFCA, that is the endangered species, because I think that is only going to get more and more important going into the future.
Absolutely true. Yeah, so hey, KJ, one other thing to talk about then, of course, we're about 2 months out now from one of my favorite summer events, the Midwest Ag Industries Exposition, also known as the Maggie Show, which takes place in Bloomington, Illinois. So tell me how things are progressing for the event and how IFCA is getting ahead in its planning for what's going to be taking place in the middle of August.
Yep, I gotta thank Leslie in our office. She runs the show, and I just help fill in the gaps where I need to be. But the show is coming along. We got a lot of great vendors. There's still maybe a couple spots left if somebody still would like to be a vendor at Maggie. But this year's dates are August 20th and 21st, and it's always at the McLean County Fairgrounds in Bloomington, Illinois. We're just right off the interstate. It's easy to access. Registration is already open. If you go to ifca.com, you can register right now and get ahead of any lines, but you can pay at the door also. But we've been talking to a lot of vendors. I think there's going to be a lot of new great technologies. I think there's going to be a couple of new releases at the Maggie Show. So we're super excited. Now we're just praying for good weather like we had last year for the show.
I was going to say, in all the years I've gone to the Maggie Show, and I've been going since 2001, I think I remember one year where it happened to rain the whole event. But usually typically they're very warm. I mean,
Yeah.
Illinois and August, it's like I've been to some Maggies where the heat index has been well over 100 degrees, and by the end of the day of the event, my what were white socks are a sort of a charcoal gray because
Yeah.
of all the perspiration, humidity, and dust. So yeah,
And we had two different ones. 23 was about as hot as they came, and then 24 was about as beautiful as it could have been. So we were very lucky last year, and just praying to the good Lord we have more weather like 24 than rather than 23.
amen, amen. So hey, one of the things that goes on at the Maggie Show, of course, I know there are awards handed out. I know our magazine, CropLife Iron, hands out the Showstopper Award, which kind of goes to the best in show product. And then the IFCA folks get together and determine which booth is sort of the best, and they get the Image Award. But there's another award you've introduced recently, the Custom Applicator of the Year. And I guess we now have the four finalists who are going to be competing for that. So if you could share with our viewers who those four finalists are and when the actual big award will be handed out.
Yep. So first, I got to thank Eric and CropLife Media for helping us promote this. This has been a great award. We had a little over 40 applicants this year for the Custom Applicator Award. We do it on the Wednesday of Maggie at the tailgate party at 3:30. We announce all the awards, but this has been one of the bigger awards we have for the custom applicators that in the state of Illinois just don't get the recognition. We do other awards, and I know there's other stuff that we recognize general managers or a plant manager. But if the guys in the cab that sprayer don't do the job, then all our jobs are a lot harder at the end of the day. And we think we need to just recognize those guys that are doing the right thing out there. So today we are releasing here at CropLife the names of the winners, or sorry, the four finalists that will be recognized, and then we'll give the winner and be announced at the Maggie Show. So those four finalists are Clint Royer with West Central FS West Point, Jeff Reffeth with Nutrient Ag Solutions in Galesburg, Cody Miller with United Prairie out of Cowden, and then Ed Smith with West Central FS Adair. So those are our four finalists. They will all be at the Maggie Show. And again, that award will be given out Wednesday afternoon at the tailgate party at Maggie.
Yeah, very good. And of course, for our viewers who may not be able to make the show in person, CropLife Iron through its website partner CropLife, and also in print in our September-October edition of CropLife Iron magazine, we'll be talking about the finalists and be announcing the winner as well. So if you, like I say, if you can't make the event in person, just pay attention to us and we'll let you know who the big winner ended up being. So.
And we will do more on social media. 4 weeks before the show, we give a little more in depth of every finalist, and we will tag CropLife Media to pass it out to kind of just give them more in depth of what that applicator is, and just a little more background of the years of service and how many acres they cover, and just more background on that applicator.
Very good. All right. Well, KJ, we've talked about the here and now. We've talked about what's happened recently, what's coming up in the near future. I'm going to look a little further forward if I can. Two-part question for you.
Yep.
As we get through the summer events and you get back to Springfield and doing the legislative part of your job, um, as you're looking forward through the rest of 25 and into 26, what are some of the first part of the question? What are some of the big opportunities that ag and ag retailers will have as you talk to your friends in Springfield for what's coming up?
I think the first thing we got to go back to the continuous education. We're going to be working a lot on the rules to get that through. That's going to be a big part. I think there's going to be some other stuff that we're going to have to. I mean, I don't know if it's an opportunity. I think everything is an opportunity, but we're going to have to talk to more legislators about pesticide issues going on here in Illinois, but also kind of tag that on the national level. The MAHA report that came out, the Make America Healthy stuff. I think we're going to have to get out there and talk to legislators, but I think it's an opportunity to show what the industry is doing safely and why the products we use, we're doing it. So I think those are some opportunities. I think we will be on defense again, maybe later this fall, next spring again. I think there will always be stuff that comes out on product bans. We had it this year. We had a Roundup ban just with everything going on with the lawsuits with Bayer. But we've held off that. But there was also a 240 ester ban out there. So again, these are opportunities, if you look at it, to teach legislators why we're using these products and why they're good products. We got a good, healthy, robust system, how we get a product through US EPA, and we just got to tell that story.
Okay, I know, and along those lines, when you're talking about challenges, particularly on the pesticide part of the equation, I know that I've been getting press releases recently from a couple of states that have actually like passed legislation that recognizes the national standards for the labels. And I know there's a call now to have Congress step in. I think but Bayer has a
Yeah.
petition before the Supreme Court to take up this issue. So, first part, Illinois' view on this, and then some speculation on your part. Do we get some national standard that'll become the way that the industry will operate versus the local labeling issues we've dealt with so far?
So the biggest thing we've always pushed here at IFCA, and we have it in Illinois, but the 44 out of 50 states have it. Pesticide preemption, meaning that in Illinois, the Illinois Department of Ag regulates that in US EPA. It's not local control, and we want that. I think every retailer needs to be watching what comes out of the Supreme Court on this Bayer decision. I think it is very much what Bayer goes into the future, what comes out of that decision. I just think it's very you just need to be watching it, what comes out, because they are looking at kind of more of a national standards. If EPA gives a sign approval, it means it is all safe. So we're watching that very closely in the future. I think it would be very hard here to get a single issue or legislative lawsuit stuff. What they've looked at other states, what Bayer has looked at other states in like North Dakota or Mississippi or Missouri. I just think the trial attorneys are too powerful in Illinois to get that passed through. I'd love to say we would get it through, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I think we're definitely going to be watching. One of the only piece of bad legislation I think that happened this spring session in Illinois that would pertain to our industry is Senate Bill 328. And what that would mean is that a person could shop courts to bring a lawsuit. If a company is registered with this Illinois Secretary of State, but that company is based in Missouri, like a Bayer, but something happened in Montana with a retailer or a farmer that's going to sue Bayer over a lawsuit of a Roundup, they could bring that lawsuit to Illinois because Bayer is registered here. That is a very bad piece of legislation. Pennsylvania is the only other state that has this. We are working the governor to veto that bill, but there will be very much, if that goes through, you will see more lawsuits probably on our products or anything bad legislatively come to Illinois, and specifically probably courts down in the Madison County area, and that's the East St. Louis area. And that is a very bad piece of legislation, but we're going to be watching more about what goes on with lawsuits with all our products.
Wow. All right. Well, yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. So, yeah, hopefully our viewers pay attention, of course, to CropLife and to IFCA moving forward on that issue in particular. So, hey, KJ, then looking further into 2026, I know, of course, Maggie's the big trade show you have during the summertime, but you also have your annual meeting, which takes place
Yep.
in January. So, give us the lowdown on what the plans are for that at this point.
Yep. So those dates are, it's always the third week of January or Martin Luther King week. We will, this year will be January 20th, 21st, and 22nd, again at the Peoria Civic Center. It's always a good show. We always have a great trade show and a lot of great speakers that come to that talking about it. We're kind of already talking to who might come. One of the speakers that we have is going to be the national FFA president that's based here in Illinois. His name's Thad. He's going to come and speak, but we're also going to talk more about AI, but just what are recruitments going on with retailers, and then talk about fertilizer markets. I mean, it's a big issue that's going on in Iraq or Iran right now and Israel. That is going to affect the fertilizer markets right now. Just with the passage of Ruth going through there, how does that going to affect? And so, I mean, we talk about it today, and stuff can change very much from 6 months from now. But we're going to have some great speakers just talking about the fertilizer markets, but just going into the future. What does ag retail look like over the next 2 to 5 years?
Yeah, and I know, speaking for myself, I know I don't take part in it because usually I get a little priced out of it, but I do like the auction that you do on the floor.
Yep. And we have a great auction. I have to thank all our sponsors. So our auction goes to our pack. We have it on the trade show floor on that Wednesday afternoon at 3:30. We have a lot of great stuff. Have some shotguns, have some stuff that's pertaining to the business, a lot of great little things for people to buy, and a lot of custom stuff. And I cannot do my job without thanking all the people that donate to the auction. And this would be, I think, over the 10th year, we've raised a lot of great money for our pack. And that helps us work legislative issues down in Springfield. So thanks for bringing that one up.
Yep, no problem. All right, well, KJ, just before we end, of course, since you're a guest on the show, you have to play the game. So it is time for fun with numbers. So, KJ, I got a number for you, just a straight number, not a dollar amount, not a percentage. 17.
Okay.
All right, so KJ, is 17, is that A, the number of Showstopper awards handed out at Maggie over the years? Is it B, the number of image awards handed out at Maggie over the years? Is it C, the number of custom applicator of the year awards handed out at Maggie over the years? Or is it D, the number of bottled waters I consumed at the 2023 Maggie Show, which, as you pointed out earlier, was one of the hottest on record?
I'm going to lean to A, but it also might be D, but I'm going to lean towards A.
You are correct, my friend. Yes, the Showstopper Award, the big stop sign that we hand out to the best product and show, handed out the first one back in 2007. And, other than the skip year in 2020, when the pandemic prevented a Maggie show from taking place, we have handed out a total of 17 stop sign shaped trophies. And we'll hand out number 18 this year, as you said, at the tailgate party just before or just after the Custom Applicator of the Year award is announced. So,
And I got to thank CropLife and Eric for helping us put the Showstopper Award on. It's a very big honor, and you can see when everybody comes to the crowd that's with a business, they're watching to see who gives that out. And then usually, whoever wins that award, we're usually the week before Farm Progress Show, they will pick that award to the Farm Progress Show the next week and proudly display that in their booth. So it is a big honor, and we want to thank CropLife for help putting this on.
yeah, and as a matter of fact, I know I have visited a couple of manufacturers over the years, and they have a trophy case sometimes on the
Yep.
show floor or the production floor, and many a times I've seen showstoppers and product of the year award. The physical trophies are in a place of honor in those locations. So, yeah, I'm glad everybody loves the showstopper. I love handing it out as well. So, all
Well,
right.
touching base with that, Erica, we've seen that, I've gone to members and seen that award. What we're also going to do at the IFCA new office, we have moved offices, is in our new training room, we have a large display and it's going to list every custom applicator year award going into the future. And we've already given away 3, but we are going to recognize those people always because they are the ones that make this industry a great place. But we're also going to list every year the 4 finalists, because again, you can win it, but those 4 finalists also, the other 3 people that were nominated should be recognized also. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And again, we need to recognize those people.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, for anyone who is attending the Maggie Show, if I remember correctly, the IFCA new headquarters is the old Asmark training facility,
Yep.
right? And it's basically, I think it's probably only about what, a half mile away from the fairgrounds. So, I mean, if you wanted to go west from the fairgrounds, you could stop by the facility and see what it looks like.
Yep, and it is. We're not, if it's even a little more than a half mile, but we are very close to the Maggie Show, and we are right off Route 9. If you turn off to the showgrounds on Route 9, if you go about another half mile, we are right off Route 9, and we love our new offices. They're there and gives us a little more room, and there will be new training opportunities that will relate to Eric in the future that we're going to do at the new office.
Very good. Well, I'll be waiting to hear that. Well, hey, on behalf of CropLife Media Group, everyone here, KJ Johnson, thank you so much for joining us for this edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Soligoy. On behalf of myself, thank you for joining us, viewers, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll see you again soon. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.